the brand new Museum of the Bible. It is our privilege to have you here and host you. I'm Steve Bickley. I'm one of the vice presidents here at the museum. We'll act as your MC today. And it's been multiple years in the making, and so for those of us who have been working behind the scenes, we are pretty excited to be showcasing this. Museum of the Bible, our mission is to invite all people to engage with the Bible. And today, that's what we want you to walk through the museum and see how we've done in executing our mission to have everyone come here and through it. One of the things we say in the approach that you'll see throughout the museum is that we are a non-sectarian. We have a non-sectarian approach. And so I thought I might just take a second and say, what do we mean by the word non-sectarian? The first definition is that it's not affiliated with any single denomination. So a very simple connotation there, but it also goes a lot farther. It was our approach to content. We recognize that there are many faith traditions that call the Bible as their own. And whether that's a Jewish tradition, a Protestant tradition, a Catholic tradition, an Orthodox tradition, there's actually 9 different, I believe, canons of the Bible that we talk about here in the museum. And so we use that word to kind of say we are respectful and invite them all to participate in we do not choose one tradition over another. And so that's a little bit about our mission and our approach to it. And to give you a little bit of the background and the history, I'd like to invite up our chairman of the board and the founder and visionary behind this project, Steve Green.
Thank you, Steve. It's an exciting day for me and our family. We're excited about being a part of this project that got started, I guess, in 2010 when we formed the 501c3 Incorporated Museum of the Bible. But it's not just our family. There's over 50,000 that have become supporters of the museum, and it is exciting to invite them out and be able to share this museum with the world. So it was in 2010, as I said, that we formed this 501c3. Our first artifact that we acquired was in 2009, the Roseberry Roll, and started us on this journey. Incorporated 2010, 2011, we opened a traveling exhibit, temporary exhibit, and we've been running ever since. That's when we engaged with our president, who will be coming up shortly, Carrie Summers. And so this has been a fast journey, been a wild ride. It was in 2012 when we acquired this facility here. We had looked in 3 different cities. We were looking in Dallas, New York City, and here in Washington, D.C. We did a survey. The real question was, if we build it, will they come? Is there an interest in the Bible Museum? And the survey result was really overwhelming. Over 80% thought that it was a good idea, and so we were excited about getting started on this journey. So 2012, we acquired this facility. It was the Washington Design Center. It was originally built as a refrigerated warehouse and converted to the Washington Design Center, and we acquired both this and the office building next door. MOTB, Museum of the Bible, acquired the Design Center. Hobby Lobby acquired the building next door. They both came up for sale. The REIT that owned it sold it, and so we have added 1 floor on top of the office building. We renovated this building, adding 2 floors on top of it, adding a basement, another basement level below. A very challenging construction project. Clark did a phenomenal job. If you're from this area, you know Clark. They're one of the largest in the country, and they just did a wonderful job. It was in 2014 when the construction really got started in earnest, because there were tenants that had to relocate, and as they did, we started it in earnest in 2014. And again, just a complicated project. We also engaged with many leading scholars as well as design firms to help us build this museum out. We knew that it was a great concept. The survey showed that it was a winning concept. But as I like saying, restaurants are a good concept, but they go out of business all day long. So you have to do it well. And what we wanted to do is be sure that we did it well. Winning concept, but it had to be done well, done right. If I put a Bible under a glass case in a language I can't even read. It only grabs my attention for so long. So this book has an incredible story to be told, and we wanted to be able to tell it in a very engaging, creative way. And that's why we've engaged some of the best design firms around the country to help us tell that story. And obviously it needed to be done at a high level of accuracy with scholarship. So again, we've engaged leading scholars around the country as well. And that's what we have today. So it is a thrilling time for our family, for all of those that have become a part. That will be opening to the public in just a few days, Saturday, and we're excited that we have had thousands already go through the museum. Open house for the construction workers, we had an open house for the employees, we've had starting yesterday and today and the next couple of days, open house for the supporters to come by, and the response has been overwhelming. Opened up last night with our first run of Amazing Grace, the Broadway play, and what I heard was great response from that, and hope that you'll make time to come out and watch that play as well. So it's an exciting day. We hope you enjoy it, and at this time I'm going to invite Carrie Summers to come up, who is our president, and we'll tell you a little bit more about the museum.
Hey, thank you, Steve. Did everybody get one of these laying around? Okay, great. This little map is really a lifesaver walking around this museum, because the museum itself, if you were to stop and read everything and different levels of learning that we offer and the 54 different video vignettes and theaters, you're going to spend 72 hours doing it. And this little map will really help you get around. The museum itself is really around three basic topics. The Bible is a big topic. Where do you start? What do you talk about? And we have housed it under three umbrellas. One is the impact of the Bible. How is the Bible impacting not only the founding of America, that's one section, but also how it impacts the whole world. Very unique displays in there. Many of you will find odd until you read them and see why, and how the Bible is being used globally. The second is and that one, by the way, is on level 2. Level 3 is the stories of the Bible, the narrative of the Bible. And those are three areas, very distinct, very different. One is the Hebrew text. That's about a 45-minute walkthrough. So you go with about 30 people, and it takes you from Noah, and it takes you all the way through to some of the last books in the Bible. And it's a very high impact, but a lot of special effects. The New Testament theater, very creative, and it's about a 12.5 minutes, so you can allocate time for that. And it's done in a 210-degree span on the screen itself. So it's one of the first, this technology is one of the first to be used, and I think you'll really enjoy that also. And then in between those two is the Nazareth that Jesus was raised in. It's replicating Nazareth village in Nazareth, Israel. And it gives you an idea of how people lived during that time. A lot of the teachings in the New Testament have to deal with agricultural settings and why they did this and why they did that, why did they say that. This creates a perspective for people on why was certain teaching being said and done in the New Testament. That's on the third level. The fourth level is the richest in our artifacts, and that has we call it the history floor, but it's a narration of using artifacts of the translation and the transmission of the Bible. Now you've got well over 700 artifacts on that floor, and many are one of a kind. And so take advantage of that. And it's very different time frames. You can follow a time frame, you can follow a topic, and whatever you wish. And again, we're not open officially until Saturday, so there's a lot of ladders and things going on in all these rooms, tuning them up. But don't miss also the fifth level. That's where the Israel Antiquity Authority has their exhibit. They brought over 1,500 items to this museum that are on exhibit throughout the museum, but most of them are found on their display on the fifth level, as is our beautiful art exhibits, and it's called The Living Dead. It's the book of Ecclesiastes. So go in there and see that. And then on what our special exhibit area holds three very, very special exhibits. One is from the Bible Land Museum in Jerusalem, and it's the David and Goliath is the name of it. It deals with the excavation of the Elah Valley and the Philistines. The next one next to it is called Amazing Grace, the story of slavery from John Newton all the way up to Wilberforce and what happened, and all the way up to today. And the third one in there is an incredible art exhibit from Gibbs Singleton in bronzes, and it's called the 14 Stations of the Cross. So those give you that. And then on the first level is the Vatican Museum and Library, and right next door to it is the Bavarian State Library, focusing on Christmas. And in that same space is the Amsterdam Jewish Historical Museum out of Amsterdam. So that's enjoy them all. As I tell people, don't stop to read anything, just keep walking, and you'll get through it in a few hours and go back and see it. But thank you for being here. Our intent of the museum is to engage people in the Bible. We don't have a plan B, by the way. And so that's it. And if that one doesn't work, then it's all over. But that's our total intent. As Steve said, we're not non-sectarian, which means that we want to be a comfortable place for anybody with faith, no faith, we don't care who it is, come in and enjoy and walk away and say, I learned something about the Bible while I was here. I knew a lot about the Bible. I learned more about the Bible. That's great too. So that's what the whole museum's designed for. We have a lot of bells and whistles attached to it, like the outdoor garden here, the restaurants, the ballrooms, the theaters, lecture halls. So all that's being used, though, in order to encourage people to engage. And on the history forum, I just pointed out, we have, you can probably pop in there today, is our new lab. And this is where we have multispectral imaging set up. So you look past the top layer of writing, you can see layers below. And I think that's ready today. If not, you can at least look at it in there. And you can understand why a lot of the discoveries on items that have been around a long time are being made today, because the technology is what's making it available. We've got a couple really world-class experts in there, and you can visit with them. So enjoy your day, and thanks for being here. I didn't know who I was supposed to do. This is Dr. Tony Zeiss. Tony is the executive director of the museum, has a rich history in being a college president for many, many years. And Tony's role now is, we sort of all pass the baton to him and say, okay, here it is. He's been very instrumental in a lot of the decision makings of where we are today. But going forward, he's your guy here that if you want to talk to somebody in the museum, Tony will be your representative to talk to, and he's a terrific guy and has put together a great staff. So Tony, come on up.
Hello, everybody. We are so excited about this week. It's an amazing week, and we're so excited that you are here. So I know we're going to be able to talk with you afterwards, if you like, and try to answer all of your questions. But what an exciting week. We're making history, whether you know it or not, because this is the first, as we know, world-class museum to the Bible in history. That's a pretty amazing feat, and it's happening right here in our capital, and we're very, very proud about that. In effect, we're just turning a dream, as Steve mentioned, turning this dream into reality, and what an interesting time it is for all of us. As Carrie said, we won't be perfect. I'm not sure all of the exhibits are completely finished yet, so forgive us for that. But listen, we've got, 3 or 4 more days, but they will be finished by Saturday. So as you can imagine, these past 11 months have been very invigorating, to say the least. We began in January with just a handful of people, and the goal was to develop the operational staff to operate, and of course all of the policies, all the procedures, the strategic plan to how you get from here to there, your budget, all of those things have to come together. It's like a big orchestra. At the same time, there are about 500 construction workers remodeling this building for almost 3 years, 500 a day, if you can imagine. And then we've got exhibitors all over, as Carrie mentioned, all over the country, and they're developing the exhibits. And we have 100 scholars from all over the world, from every walk of life, working with us to make sure that we get the accuracy and the authenticity that we need in every word that you'll read today, or you'll hear, or you'll see by video. We have about 20 different video theaters throughout these these exhibits. So I guess if you don't get any other takeaway, one of them is this. This is not a one-and-done museum. This is a museum people will come back to and come back to. And we have rotating exhibits too. We have some permanent exhibits, but we have rotating exhibits, so you'll see them coming up, following different themes, different times of the year, etc. And so there will always be something for people to come back to. So we built this operational staff from a handful in January. Now we have about 160 full-time and part-time people. We're moving up to about 190 full and part-time people. In addition to that, we have 150 volunteers and docents and interns who will be working. You'll see many of them will be in the burgundy shirts, and they can give you directions, etc. today. So training, as you can imagine, all of these people has also been a critical part of what we've done, and we certainly have followed the guidelines and the suggestions of the scholars who come together. If you can imagine getting that many scholars to start agreeing on a particular way you present a particular exhibit. So a lot of work has gone into the building, a lot of work has gone into the exhibits, and a lot of work has gone into building the staff. Let me tell you what the operating departments are. We have facility operations, exhibits, content, revenue. We have to raise our own operating funds. Education, security, development, community relations and events, along with a host of other departments from our corporate headquarters, which is located in Oklahoma City. And they sent folks out to help us. We never could have done it without their help, like in marketing, IT, ticketing, human relations, and etc. So as a museum that really is open to the world, and that's what we are and will be very soon, I want you to know that we intend to be very engaged in engaging people and actively engaged in engaging, if you will, our community around us through our educational programs, through our exhibits, and through our world stage productions like Steve mentioned, the Broadway play Amazing Grace. They debuted last night. It was terrific, and they're open through January the 7th. But if anyone wants to get tickets to see this wonderful production, they need to go online, museumofthebible.org, and they can buy their tickets online for Amazing Grace. We will not be charging any admission fee, and that's by design, and we're happy about that. But we will suggest donations because we are a nonprofit organization. We don't take any dollars. We're the largest museum that does in D.C. that does not receive any public funding. So we'll have to raise our operating funds, and we'll do that through donations from our visitors. But in addition to that, we have memberships, and you can go online. We have 27 levels of memberships, so people of all income levels can participate if they like. We have donors, large donors, small donors, and we have sponsors. We're so proud of them because they help us sponsor the exhibits. Some of these exhibits cost well over $1 million. So as you're rotating exhibits, you can see it's a constant revenue source, or it's not a revenue source, constant depletion of revenue source. But in any event, you got the idea. So we have about 50,000 of these donors and sponsors and members already, and it's growing daily, and we're quite proud of that. People are so excited about this museum, and we're very, very proud of that. It's been an amazing feat for us to renovate this building in a little less than 3 years, as we mentioned. I want to say this, the Clark Construction Group who did this, led by Brian Flagel, they have been wonderful partners. You can't imagine this 1923 building and how they turned it from what it was into this today. And then, of course, David Greenbaum led the Smith Architectural Group. They were wonderful and delightful to work with, and we're very proud of them. So we're ready. We're excited to be open. All of our exhibits will be finished this week. Our contractors are working on punch lists, so you'll see some of them still around. Our employees are finishing their training, and we're excited to dedicate this museum on Friday, and then followed up with, of course, the opening to the public on Saturday. So I've already met some of you, and it's my pleasure. I look forward to getting to know more of you as we move along in the weeks and months to come and as we roll out and continue to share this incredible museum with the public. Thank you.